Welcome to Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm your erstwhile host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. Happy December 2nd, 2019. More importantly, the happy business of popping corn day. I know that's of great excitement to everybody. It is indeed the business of popping corn day. Of course, we are in the business of making you money with your sports picks. And today, the show jam-packed, as always. Craig Trapp joining us. NFL and college football opening line reports. Lots to get to after a big weekend of upsets in the NFL. Let's talk about those opening lines. Then the Duff Man will come, I promise. Joe Duffy is coming for college football and college basketball. Utah, Oregon, Baylor, Oklahoma. Excuse me, I'm choking to death here. Must be too much turkey. And Michigan at Louisville. And finally, our very own Higgy Smalls, Sean Higgs, comes along into the show to bring us Mavs at Pelicans, Lakers at Nuggets, Blazers at Clippers, and, if you're lucky, a smattering of Monday Night Football. Here's how it works. You watch the show, or you listen to the show, but if you want to comment and be a part of that show, this show, all you have to do is go online to our social media and fill in the comments section, and we will see it here on our screen, and our magnificent producer, Andrew, will do his very best to put that question, comment, or suggestion up on the screen, and we will bring you into the show, provided it is not too rude. Some rude, as we say every week, is okay, especially this holiday season. Just try to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know what I mean? And if you should miss any of the picks on this show, a couple of programming notes. You can always find replays on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and on our podcast at the Believe Podcast Network, BLEAV. And if you want more picks than what we give out in this show, and we give out a ton, there are even more picks at our website, picksandparlays.net. And of course, our expert handicappers, of which we're going to have 3 on the show today. We have about another 32 on the site. Everything from soccer to NFL to NHL, you name it, we've got it. College basketball, college football, we have it all. Go to picksandparlays.net. And when you're ready, our expert picks are there for you to give you just that extra edge. All right, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back with Craig Trapp. I'm getting confused here. We're going to talk NFL and college football opening lines. Welcome back, Picks and Parlays. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Well, I promised before the break, by the way, yes, Twitter, find me on Twitter, at Nick Geber. Before the break, I promised I would bring Craig El Guapo Trapp, and he is indeed El Guapo, to talk some NFL opening lines and some college football opening lines. Craig, well, we've got a lot to do after an eventful weekend in the NFL. Let's get to it because we've got an awful lot to do.
9 NFL line moves this week. Big.
9.
Big.
Yeah. Very, very busy. Let's start, shall we, with the 10-2 Ravens against the 9-3 Bills. The Bills are the best team in the NFL for covering the spread. They're 8-3-1. The Ravens, the hottest team in the NFL. This one opened at -7. Where are we now on it?
Yeah, Baltimore 5.5 here. I think this one's going to even move maybe back up a little, I think, because I just think the Ravens, even though they didn't cover the spread this week, they continued their hot streak. Yes, the Bills have been great against the spread, but a lot of people have kind of been ignoring the Bills. And of course, the Ravens are going to be a huge public team. In fact, they just became the odds favorite to win the Super Bowl after this past week.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Great performance. Let's go. Broncos at Texans. 4-8 for the Broncos. 8-4 for the Texans. Great win this weekend for the Texans. The Texans seem to struggle to cover the spread when they've been favored by 8 or more, which is a really interesting statistic, by the way. This opened Houston -7.5, and I believe that's widened a little bit, right?
Yeah, all the way up to 9.5, and I see a lot of action on this, so I expect this to probably go to the key number of 10. Texans, of course, after you beat the Patriots, a lot of people give you a lot of respect, and I think they're going to continue to get that. At least Denver is coming off a win at home in overtime, big division win against the Chargers.
All right, next up, the Bengals, your favorite, your boys, 1-11.
Finally win a game.
Finally win a game against 5-7 Browns. Although they were 0-10 on the 0-10 the last 10 road games for your boys, they are 8-2 against the spread, however, so not all bad. The Browns are 7-3 against the spread in the last 10. This opened -10.5, and I know you're celebrating that this is tightened up a bit, right? Good news for you.
Well, Cleveland, of course, disappointing win or loss at another rival against the Steelers last week. The line goes from 10.5 now. Cleveland only favored by 8.5. Browns team is obviously huge disappointment this year, but Battle of Ohio here.
Battle of Ohio. All right. What do we got next? Panthers 5-7 against 3-9 Falcons. The Panthers are 1-7 both straight up and against the spread. Atlanta was at -1 favorites, and I believe now they're a bit more.
Yeah, favored by 2.5, which is a little surprising. Atlanta did not look good on, of course, Thanksgiving night. But Panthers have been really bad the last 3 weeks. A lose to the Redskins. So anytime you lose the Redskins, I can see the line move here. I would imagine this line will move to the key number of 3 very shortly.
All right, 3-9 Dolphins against the 4-8 Jets. The Dolphins have won 6 of the past 7 against the Jets. So this line did open, though. Jets, big favorites at -7.5, but tightened up a bit, Craig.
Yeah, all the way to 5.5. This Dolphins team. Well, first of all, the Jets are the first team to lose to 2 0-8 or more teams in the same season. So, of course, with the Jets losing to the Bengals last week and earlier this year losing to the 0-8 Dolphins. So I expect the Jets to come out a little motivated here for the little respect. And this line, kind of surprised it went down to this 5.5 number.
This guy comments on our Twitter. Or is it on our YouTube? I love his name. Nonsense is irrelevant. What a great name. Maybe I'll give someone that nickname. All right, next up, what do we have next? Colts 6-6 against the 5-7 Bucks. Colts have gone 12-4 against the spread in the last 16 versus the NFC. This opened Tampa Bay -1 and has widened, Craig.
Tampa Bay was really good this past week, one of my best plays. I like them again this week. I think Tampa Bay is all the way up to 3 here. I think that's a strong number for good reason. This Bucs team, when they don't turn the ball over, are very good. Finally, Jameis Winston is not turning the ball over.
All right, finally, well, 3 more games, starting with Chip Charibas' favorite San Diego, now LA Chargers, although Chip still calls them the San Diego Chargers. They're 4-8 against 4-8 Jags. Jags have been a disaster since their trip to London. They've lost 4 straight. They haven't covered any of those, Craig. And I'm wondering, too much time in the pub after the game?
Well, the Chargers haven't been any better. So, I mean, the Chargers had everything to play for. Obviously, they had to probably win out and lose at Denver in overtime. Chargers open up at 1. Line is 3 now. Both of these teams headed in the wrong direction. All
right, Steelers 7-5 against the 3-8-1 Cardinals. This was a pick'em and has now moved to the Steelers as favorites, 2.5 points, I think, right?
kind of a little surprising. Even though the Cardinals didn't look good last week, they've been really good this year at home. I think the Cardinals are a live underdog here. I think the Steelers are getting way too much credit beating a Browns team that we all said have not been very good.
And finally, in the NFL, our very own Chelsea Messengers, beloved Tennessee Titans 7-5 against 6-6 Raiders. This one also opened up a pick'em and has moved to Tennessee as the favorites.
Yeah,
interesting. The visiting team.
Since Tannehill's come over and taken over for Mariota, they've been a different team. I like this Titans defense. I like this when they don't turn the ball over. They're going to be a tough team to beat against a Raiders team that's the last few weeks kind of back to where we kind of expected for them.
All right, Craig, just a couple of minutes left. We have some college football opening lines. Of course, the championship games are upon us.
Yep.
Let's go down the list. Let's start with the Pac-12 championship game. UCLA versus UCLA. Oh, wait a minute. Oregon versus Utah. Utah were 4.5 points favorites, and I believe that has widened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Oregon losing a few weeks back, Utah now is the only hope for the Pac-12 to get to the playoffs. Utah needs to win and win impressively. I think that's a lot why the line has moved. Although Utah has been very good, Utah is now -6.5. So as long as it stays off that key number 7, I don't think it really matters between 4.5 and 6.5.
All right, Miami of Ohio against Central Michigan. Central Michigan were 4.5 point favorites. Where's that now?
Yeah, MAC championship here. You see Central Michigan now at 6.5. Kind of surprising. I was not impressed with the Central Michigan team most of the year. They did come on strong at the end of the year. I think Miami of Ohio, I think, is a live underdog in this spot.
All right, Louisville at App State. App State were 3.5 point favorites, and they just became much bigger favorites.
Yeah, 6.5. This one moved all the way up to. This Louisiana team's pretty good, though. I think Louisiana is a live dog here. App State's been very good for the last, 3 or 4 years. But I just think this Louisiana team is going to keep. I think it's going to be a field goal type game. So as long as you get it above that 3.5 original number, I still like it.
All right, Georgia versus LSU. LSU were -4 favorites. Where are we on that one?
Well, they're all the way up to 7 here, and I think deserving favorites. LSU has played one of the toughest teams, toughest schedules in the country, and been impressive in doing so. Have, of course, most likely, unless something weird happens, he's going to win the Heisman Burrow. So I like LSU in this spot. I would be surprised if this number doesn't even come off the key number of 7.
By the way, John Latas talks to us on Facebook talking about, I believe, about Monday Night Football, and he says, just sit back and relax tonight, guys. Enjoy the games. And we have to agree with this. Sometimes no bet, Craig, is the right bet.
I like this one a lot tonight.
I know you do. We're going to get to that. Maybe for John, but not for you.
Not for
All
me.
right, Wisconsin versus Ohio State. Ohio State, big favorites, but tightened a little bit.
Yeah, Ohio State opened at 18, all the way down to 16. Remember the opening matchup? Ohio State dominated that game. Now the rematch here, of course, on a neutral site. I don't know. Ohio State has been so impressive coming off a big, impressive win against rival Michigan.
All right, and finally we have Virginia versus Clemson. Clemson were 24.5 point favorites. They're now 324.5 point favorites. Not quite that much, but it has opened up quite a bit.
Yeah, 28.5. So it went across that key number of 28 for deserving reason. Those Clemson teams continue to get better. The only real team in the ACC this year. They're going to win this game. It's just a matter. They need to win impressively, though. I think they want to make sure they get the two seed here. I guess it doesn't really matter, the 2 or 3 seed, but I think it's deserving if they get the 2 seed here. Of course, last year's national champion.
All right, well, Craig, what do we have up on Picks and Parlays right now? Do we have any specials?
Well, the last day of the 15% off promo code TURKEY, so you can lose that last day of the turkey.
And just about the last day that you've got to eat the turkey out of the fridge before it starts to get a little green. So last day for the turkey promo on the site, last day to eat the leftover turkey. That's 15% off, right? Promo code
15% off anything on the site. We'll have some extra special stuff coming up here for bowl season after this weekend's game, so make sure you follow in upcoming week. But a big week. This is a week that you have to be careful because there's a limited schedule college football, and of course, we got the ACC Big Ten matchup in college basketball starting this week tonight.
We do indeed. All right, folks. Up next, the Duff Man cometh here on Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We'll be covering some college basketball and college football for you, or should I say college football and college basketball. Don't go anywhere. Loads more right after this. Welcome back to the show, Picks and Parlays, here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Just a reminder, we're with you each and every weekday from 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 1 p.m. on the left coast. That would be Monday through Friday, just for your clarification. We do hope you'll make us a regular part of your week, and if you'd like to bet on sports, you need to make us a regular part of your week. And just a reminder, visit our website, picksandparlays.net. Tons of free picks, and when you're ready to kick it up a notch, our expert picks are there for you. Currently, 15% off everything on the site as you eat the remnants of your turkey dinner out of the fridge. Remember, this is the remnants of our 15% off sale. Last day today, promo code TURKEY. Speaking of turkeys, okay, I won't do it. The Duff Man, he doth cometh. And I'm very pleased to welcome to the show one of our favorite handicappers, Joe Duffy. Joe, how was your Thanksgiving? And before you say, I'd like to wish you happy National Business of Popping Corn Day.
Yes, happy National Business, whatever you said, St. Nick. It's been pretty good, and so people want to jump on it, that 15% discount with Joe Duffy's picks. I got Monday Night Football total +4, NBA tonight. It's been a nice run. I think 29-15 lately, and we got some good advanced analytics up tonight.
Well, nice. Well, we have 2 college football games and a college basketball game to get through today. Let's start with the Pac-12 championship, Duff Man. And there has to be a mistake here because I don't see UCLA's name on this list and they're not the favorites. There has to be a problem. I'm wondering if this is bad information. My information tells me it's Utah against Oregon. And from what I understand, Utah 11-1, 9-3 against the spread, coming off a 45-15 demolition of Colorado. Their only loss was in Week 4 against the Trojans, which just hurts even more, I have to say. The total has gone over in 6 of the last 7 versus Oregon. That makes it interesting here. For Oregon, 10-2, 6-6 against the spread. Their last outing was a victory over Oregon State, 24-10. 2 losses only this season. The first one was against Auburn, that's it, and the second one was against Arizona State. They're 5-2 straight up in the last 7 over Utah. Total 51, Utah favorites at 6.5. Duff Man, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I double-checked. I double-checked my list twice, St. Nick, and you're right. UCLA is not in this game.
There must be a terrible mistake.
A neutral, I know. It's got to be a mistake. Well, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it. Next time I'm on, I'll have an answer for you as to why. Maybe it's because they suck. But
wait a minute. You're not going to tell me they regressed all the way to the mean?
Yes. I got to be very mean, but say they really have regressed ever since they got rid of Jim Mora Jr., I guess. Not that he was all that great of a coach, but they've definitely regressed. Anytime there's a neutral game, be it football, be it basketball, always like to look at the travel and find what I like to call a neutral field or a neutral court advantage, whatever the case may be. Not much here. Oregon's got to travel 467 miles. Utah, 589. Look, I agree with everything that Count Trapula said about this game when El Guapo said that he thinks the public is going to bet Utah because they need the style points. I do think there's a pretty good chance this game will hit 7, and I wouldn't be that outrageous if it goes above 7, although usually the bookmakers don't like to go from 6.5 to 7.5 because they could definitely get middle there. Utah's defense, very good. They rank only behind Ohio State and Clemson. Meanwhile, they're playing an Oregon team that allowed 41 points the past 2 weeks, but this is more than taken into account for in the line. I'm not a conspiracy theorist per se, but it is amazing how the upsets always work out in these conference championship games for the committee, so they're not being put in tough spots. If there's an upset here, that means that opens a door for the Big 12 to be the undisputed number 4 if LSU does defeat Georgia. Of course, LSU is the favorite in that one. It always seems to work out that way. One of the supporting things for what El Guapo and I both said, 66% of the bets, 77% of the money early, but it's on Utah. I do think this game will probably go to 7. I like Oregon, but I'm going to wait. I'll take my chances on the line dropping a little bit. I think there's a better chance it's going to go off. If you got to bet it today, I don't think there are any 7s out there. I got +6.5, but I say Oregon, but wait on it a little bit.
All right. Well, you were mentioning the Big 12 championship game. We're just wrapping up the slightly smaller 12, the Pac-12 game. So let's go to the Big 12, shall we? Baylor, Oklahoma. Baylor 11-1, 8-4 against the spread. They're 8-1 in conference. Their only loss was to Oklahoma, surprisingly enough. This is interesting stuff, isn't it? They lost 34-31. That was 3 weeks ago. They're 6-3 against the spread in the last 9 versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma, same record, although they were only 5-7 against the spread. They own the tiebreaker due to their win over Baylor, which is somewhat interesting. One loss was an unlikely one, though, when they gave up 48 points to Kansas State. Don't know what happened there. Oklahoma, 8-point favorites. Total is 61. Big 12 me to some money, Duffman.
I do think we have a little bit of a neutral field advantage here. Baylor's going to be playing in-state, and they're traveling only 82 miles. Oklahoma at 173. I know, they do occasionally play in the Jerry Dome, so it's not like, it's a huge advantage here. They've certainly played in the state of Texas before and done quite well, but I think it's not totally accounted for in the line when it is a neutral field. I found that I did the research. Everyone asks, the old cliche, it's really tough to beat a good team 2 times in the same season. When there is a same season rematch in Division I, it's a 100% split. The loser has covered 31% of the times in history. The winner has covered, the previous winner, that is, has covered 31%, or has covered 31 times. So it's literally 500. There is no advantage either way betting on a same season revenge, which is pretty rare in college football. And yeah, as you said, Baylor, look, they know they can beat Oklahoma. They had that 25-point lead, 28-3. They don't like to talk about 28-3 leads here in Atlanta, but Baylor can clearly hang with Oklahoma. Now, it is true, they did play a horrible non-conference schedule. I like the underdog here, but I'm a little bit worried. I do agree with that major entity where they always warn you about the trendy dog. So far, the early money, 77% of bets, 82% of the money is on Baylor. The public generally likes to bet favorites, although when you get late in the season, and it's technically a regular season game, but especially in playoffs, in any single sport or a conference championship game like this, they tend to like the underdog a little bit more. But when the public is betting on the underdog, that does make me a little bit nervous, but still, despite that, I like the underdog here. I think Baylor showed that they can more than hang with this team, and I think an upset is a definite possibility.
All right, before we get to our college basketball game, I want to talk about this Baylor-Oklahoma game because I want to get some your take on this. So I don't understand why Oklahoma are such big favorites at -8 on this game. Because, other than the fact that they just beat Baylor. Okay. Yeah. But they have the same record. Oklahoma gave up 48 points to Kansas, so, Kansas State. So they're showing some weakness. It seems like this is a little extreme, don't you think?
Yeah, it is true. Baylor hasn't played a very good non-conference schedule. They played a terrible non-conference schedule. Certainly in the power ratings, Oklahoma's a better team. In the preseason projections, Oklahoma is considered to be the better team. They got more NFL prospects, are considered to be more talented on both sides of the ball. But let's not overlook it. It has a little bit to do with reputation. Oklahoma has been a powerhouse. Baylor is being completely rebuilt. Now, Matt Rule's done a phenomenal job there after doing a great job at Temple. He might be, an NFL coaching prospect. But I definitely think that these teams are much more evenly matched than the records say. And again, the fact that Baylor hung with Oklahoma and almost pulled the upset clearly means they're going to be more than confident. It's not like Oklahoma's going to have any mental advantage over them. So, yeah, I do think this line is adjusted and has a little bit, not everything to do, but it's got a little bit to do with the respective reputations of each team.
Yeah, but reputations usually aren't there actually playing the game. I always love
that.
No,
I agree, and that's what we're looking for, bad perception. That's a lot of my systems exploit perception and teams that are overrated and teams that are underrated. Now, mind you, I'll tell you flat out, it's not like I'm in love with this game, but I do think that the Baylor, getting the points is really a good value.
Yeah, great example this weekend in the Premier League. Everybody bet Man City. Newcastle United got the draw plus 540. Okay, take that one to the bank. All right, let's go. Michigan versus Louisville. College basketball. Michigan 7-0, 5-2 against the spread, coming off an 82-64 loss to Gonzaga. They're ranked second in field goals, 10th in three-pointers. Their total has gone over in 4 of the last 5 for them on the road. And Louisville 7-0, same record, 3-4 against the spread though. Their last outing, was a 71-54 win over Western Kentucky. They're 3-6 against the spread in the last 9, and the total's gone over in 6 of the last 9 for them. Louisville, 5.5-point favorites here, total 141. We got like 2 minutes. Fire away, Duffy.
Okay, wow. I know I like to do a lot of system plays here. This is really a schedule maker's nightmare for Michigan. Look, they won the battle of battle for Atlantis to beat Iowa State, North Carolina, and Gonzaga. Made the biggest jump in history, going from unranked to number 5 in one poll, I think number 4 in another poll. They've only had 3 days rest. So often we see it when teams play those tournaments and they come back to the U.S., especially on pretty short rest. It's inevitable they're going to have a physical letdown. They're going to have a mental letdown. Louisville playing their first home game is number 1. The arena's going to be fired up. Michigan, look, they lost their top 3 scorers from last year. They had a decent recruiting class, no top 100. I think Michigan overachieved. They are overvalued. And like I said, schedule makers nightmare. What an incredibly tough spot for Michigan. I like Louisville.
You like Louisville this, and under or over? Or no opinion?
I don't know about, I haven't really touched the over or under. I do have a projected total. I don't even think there's official total. I think the total will be about 136. No real opinion yet on the total, but I think
I have 141 as the total.
Okay. Yeah, I do think Michigan's going to have some very tired legs, and I do think Louisville's going to exploit that. I think that Louisville is going to come out very quickly paced because of Michigan coming back from that tournament. I do expect this game to be pretty high tempo. So I would say probably the over.
All right, Joe Duffy, always a pleasure. You can find Joe and his picks at picksandparlays.net. If you need expert picks, there's no expert more worth picking than Joe Duffman Duffy. All right, coming up next, Higgy Smalls, Sean Higgs. We've got a lot of stuff to get to, including NBA and some Monday Night Football. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Picks and Parlays here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find us there. Just search Picks and Parlays. And if you want to join the conversation, hashtag Parlay Radio, and we will see what you have to say and bring it into the show. Or you can fill out one of the comment boxes on any one of those social media outlets. Just a program reminder, if you miss any of this show, you can find replays of it right there. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or you can go to our podcast site at believe.com. We hope you will believe in us to steer you right in your sports betting Jones. And who better to do that than the man that they all love to call Hig Popper, Higgy Smalls himself, Sean Higgs. Let's talk some NBA. Higgy, how are you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good, Nick. Pretty good. How was yours?
It was, quite honestly, wasn't as great as it usually is, but, that's fine. I'll get over it.
I'm sorry to hear that. It was all right here. We had our ham. I was excited for my ham. My wife made this Oreo cheesecake, which was fabulous.
Ooh.
Put a picture of it on Twitter. You should go check it out. She's a great cook. So that was a great ending to the day. So
how come I wasn't invited?
You were. You missed a flight. I don't know what to tell you.
That's why. Well, I made the wrong
I'll bring
bet,
some out next time.
Couldn't afford it.
We'll be going. I don't know. When are we out there? Super Bowl week. I'll bring some. I'll ship it out. I don't know if I can take
some of that Oreo
flight.
cheesecake with you, and we'll all be good. All right.
That is definitely not a carry-on item. I don't think they'll let me.
You're just going to eat it as you wait to board the plane. All right, enough of this. We've got 3 NBA games to get to today. Let's start with Blazers at Clippers. Portland 8-2, 9-10, 9-10-1 against the spread. They're on a 3-game winning streak, coming off a 107-103 win over the Bulls. Nurkic and Collins still out indefinitely. Total's gone under in 4 of the last 6 for Portland. For the Clips, they're third in the West, 12-1 at home, which is a great home record. JaMychal Green adds to the injury list, and the total's gone over in 4 of the last 6. I got 229 total points on this. Clips 8.5-point favorites. I want to make some money. So how do I do it with this game, Higgy?
One, you'd probably want to stay away from Portland. Basically, the 2-man show. You got Lillard and McCollum show there. And I don't know. What has changed since the Clippers beat them? I mean, the Clippers beat them, was it 2 weeks ago? November 7th, they beat them there? I just don't see. LA put 150 on Washington the other night. I mean, the Paul George and Kawhi show, unbelievable. Listen, Clippers are a very good team. The Lakers are hot. You got the Clippers. These guys, man, let's be honest. Who thought that these guys were going to be that good? Who thought, again, like last year, Kawhi's going to come in and win a championship game? Guy's unbelievable. He just totally transformed this franchise. But again, this is a deep roster. I'm going to lay the 8.5. Portland I don't think they have enough depth. There's not enough size. These guys, I'm not a huge NBA guy. It's like people love their favorite sports, or I love baseball, college basketball, NFL. Like, I don't come out and say, "Oh, I love NBA and I can't miss a game." This Clipper team, it's just fabulous. I love everybody. It is just so deep. You got your Beverleys, you got the kid out of Louisville last year. I forgot his name, Hazel, or I can't pronounce his name. Whoever he is, it's just. The depth, the size, they could do it on both sides. They could come in, shut you down. They'll hold you 89 points one day and say, "Oh, you want to run with us? We'll drop 150 on you. We don't care." They can just do it so many ways. 8.5, I think, is a gift. I'll lay 10 with these guys. I don't. You kind of want to look at the over and say, it should get over, but I don't know if Portland's going to score 100 points against them. I mean, Clippers could easily score, but again, they're going to get up 40 at the half. It's going to be one of those typical NBA games. It's a big lead. Maybe Portland gets back into it, but not that we're going to get the proverbial load manager game from George and Kawhi. But listen, a big lead like that, you can see these guys taking a quarter off for sure. But 8.5, safe number to lay. And the Clippers are just, man, I like them a lot. I didn't think they'd be this good right out of the gate, but they missed George early. He was out a little bit, and Kawhi's been taking some days off, but they haven't missed a beat playing together. These guys, there's no getting to know you. They're just balling out there. I mean,
right.
Man, they're just good. I mean, as you can tell, I'm high on the Clippers. They're just a good team.
All right, so Take the 8.5 on the Clippers. Let's move along. Next game, let's do Lakers at Nuggets. Speaking of hot teams that are killing it, Lakers 17-3, 11-9 against the spread. Coming off a loss that slapped like a 1 million game winning streak. It did. It actually snapped a 9-game winning streak for the Lakes. They're top of the West. The total's gone under in all of the last 5 for the Lakers. The Nuggets 13-4, also a good record, 8-1 against the spread. They're also coming off a streak-snapping 97-100 loss to Sacramento. They're currently second in the West, nipping at the heels. They're 8-2 at home, which is a nice record. The total's gone over in 10 of the last 15 against the Lakers. Favorites here, actually, the home Nuggets, -2. Total points, 210. You like that -2 there, Higgy?
This is a tricky one because I kind of like the Lakers with the +2. But on the flip side is LeBron playing? They're in off a loss, and I like the Mavericks. I like the Lakers over the Mavericks. I figured that was the game. Lakers just say, you know what? We got to beat the new kids on the block. These young guys, Porzingis and Luka, think they're special. Let's LeBron come in here and take over. And they lost that game. So they got a back-to-back spot to be playing in the altitude against the Jazz after the Nuggets. So where is the rest game? Because one's coming. One's coming. And coming out of Denver, the teams usually get beat up in Utah. So I like the Lakers here simply because I think LeBron's going to play. Him and Anthony Davis are just a great combination. As much as, George and Leonard have been getting it along pretty well. 17-3 for the Lakers at the door. What an influx of energy for LeBron. After a bad year last year, the guy looks like he's done. This year, he's at 25, 7, and 10 assists a game. He's top of his game as always. I just don't think Denver, as much as I like Jokic inside and Murray's a nice guard there, they don't just have enough scoring. I don't think they have enough punch. I'm going to take the Lakers here as a small dog, especially off a loss. They're 8-1 straight up on the road. Listen, throw out the 4-3 spread record when the line's 2. It's basically a pick'em game. Who do you got to win this game? I'm going to take LeBron and Anthony Davis to get it done here. It's a small dog, maybe a square play, but off a loss, I got to back LeBron here. I got to back the Lakers. Let's go, LA, get it done here against the Nuggets. Again, I think the Nuggets are just missing a little something on offense. They're just, a lot more balanced scoring than the Lakers for sure, but I don't know. Who's their killer guy? It's Jokic, and I mean, he should be the best guy on the team. He's second in scoring. I don't get it. He's got to be more assertive. The guy's a tremendous player, but I'm going to take the small dog here with the Lakers.
You're going to take the Lakers. Funny to say the Lakers are a dog, although, it is in Denver. All right, Mavs at Pelicans.
Yeah, and again,
go ahead.
With the Jazz game, this is the game they got to focus on because the load management's killer in the NBA now. I mean, we see it. The lines come up late. Everybody who bets NBA know that these players are taking days off now, so you got to kind of watch your spots.
All right, one more NBA game. We got Mavs at Pelicans. Dallas at 13-6, 11-8 against the spread, coming off a 114-100 win against the Lakers. They did the ones that snapped the winning streak. I keep saying losing, but it was a 9-game winning streak. They're fourth in the West. They're 7-1 against the spread in the last 8. The Pelicans 6-14, 9-11 against the spread. Derek Favors, Kenrick Williams, they're a question mark. Zion Williamson still out indefinitely. They've lost 2 in a row to Oklahoma. They lost 2 in a row to Oklahoma City. They lost the back-to-back games, which is never good. Total's gone under in 6 of the last 6. So let's see. We got Mavs -4 and a big total of 231.
231. That's big because when you give up 120 points a game, you seem to have high totals. So Dallas, they beat them early in the season. Luka with a triple-double that game. Him and Chris Stopp, I think, got about 50 points. So yeah, we got the young kid show here in Dallas off the big win. I'm liking, this line. It's at 4. I see it coming down right now to 3.5. I'm taking New Orleans. I get it. It's an ugly dog. They're a bad team. They're not playing well at all. I mean, come on. You're just getting. Usually, it's home and home things. You usually split out in that scenario. These guys are just getting blitzed all over the place. Again, Dallas is 13-6. The hype's all over the kid. Luka, everybody talking MVPs, great. All of his stats are, like the Greek freak level off the charts. But I'm taking New Orleans. Why? This is a low line considering how bad this New Orleans team is. I'm going to take the 4. Shop around because, again, it's coming down a little bit. I'm going to grab the 4 early here with New Orleans. Let's go Pelicans. Let's get a W here. Come on.
Let's go Pelicans. All right, make some money on this
game.
On.
Get it together here. Get it together.
Everybody happy. Because we all love a little dosh, don't we? I think that's a big yes. Okay, let's move on very quickly. Monday Night Football. Vikings at Seattle. I know this is probably your game of the week on the site, but let's talk about it anyway. Vikings are 8-3. They're 6.5 on the spread against the spread. Seattle 9-2, 6-5 against the spread as well. The Vikings coming off a bye week, and they are perfect on the road. Unfortunately for them, this one. No, they are on the road here, so they are perfect. The Seahawks are perfect on the road. The Seahawks are at home. And that's probably wish they were on the road. They have a 17-9 win against the Eagles for the last game out. Vikings won 2 in a row, and they are 6-7 against the spread. Can Kirk Cousins beat a quality opponent? That is really the question. I got Seahawks as 2.5-point favorites, and I got some notes I'm having trouble reading, but I think the total's 49.5. I need new glasses. Help me buy some, Higgy.
Sounds about right. Well, we could definitely help that because we got a big game tonight with this mini Seattle. I got top 10 star in this game tonight. But there's you got a lot of conflicting things going on here. You have, minis off the bye. They're going to be ready. Historically, they've held Russell Wilson in check. But on the flip side, they got some secondary woes. A little banged up on the secondary. Not, Xavier Rhodes has been banged up. But then on the flip side, we got Seattle at home. They could have lost to the Bengals. They should have lost to the Rams. They did lose to the Saints. They lost to the Ravens. They needed overtime to beat Tampa Bay. So this is not your Seattle 12th man all day, stadium. But again, we're back to Minnesota. Thielen is going to be playing. He's out. You got Cousins, who's got one good win, and it was over Dallas on the road. And Dallas is – it is what it is with Jason Garrett. You never know. Talk about a crapshoot, that team. So who's showing up? Is it, Russell Wilson, who lights it up? That guy has owned primetime football games during his career against Cousins, who's done nothing. But they're off the bye, and then you got Seattle coming back off, a ugly win there that they had. It's a tricky spot here. I'm not going to throw out because, again, I got a big side play on this game. But total-wise, I like the under. I don't think it's going to be the heroics where we see Russell just turning water into wine and putting up like a 34 spot here and the rabbit out of the hat type game. I think it's going to be a little more low scoring than that. So we'll go with the under the total Monday Night Football. And if you want the top side play, well, use that promo code, baby. Use that turkey, 15% off, and start the month off good. It's December to remember. Let's go. We got bowl games coming up, NFL playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah.
It goes fast. It's going fast, St. Nick.
Don't be a turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble up all those expert picks. Today's the last day, and our very own Higgy Smalls, Sean Higgs, is up there for your selection. Recommend him highly. On top of which,
I appreciate that.
I understand the guy is in possession of some quality Oreo cheesecake, and that makes it all.
Yeah, the Oreo cheesecake is insane.
Oh, you're just
fabulous.
teasing me. Stop it, Higgy. Cut it out. All right, folks.
And the bad thing is, Nick, I threw half of it out because I had to start a diet. It's a new month. I got to lose the weight. The Oreo cheesecake was killing me. I had to get rid of it. I couldn't even save it.
You threw the Oreo cheesecake away. Okay, that is a crime that is probably. Well, I'm going to have to speak to El Guapo here and see if we're going to even keep you on the show after that one. All right, well, all right. Sean, thanks so much. All right, folks, just a reminder, go to the website, picksandparlays.net, use promo code TURKEY. You can pick up 15% off any of our expert picks and packages on the site right now. And, of course, loads of free picks. And if you missed any of the free picks we're giving out on this show, just stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll recap them all. Welcome back to Picks and Parlays. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We've been giving out lots of free picks. I'm your host, Nick Geber. Find me on Twitter at Nick Geber. I promise I've cleaned my glasses, so I'm able to read things a little bit better because we're going to recap all the picks we gave out on the show today. Let's start, shall we? We started with our Monday night, with our college football and NFL opening line reports with Craig, but then we moved right along to Joe Duffy. We did 2 college football and a college basketball game. The college football picks, Utah versus Oregon. Take Oregon plus 6.5. Baylor versus Oklahoma. Take Baylor plus 9. And then the college basketball pick was Michigan at Louisville's. Take Louisville minus 5.5. Then we had Then we had Higgy Smalls, Sean Higgs, his NBA picks. Mavericks at Pelicans. Take the Pelicans plus 4. Lakers at New Jay. Take the Lakers plus 2. Blazers at Clippers. Take the Clippers minus 8.5. And his Monday night football pick. Are you ready? Get it at picksandparlays.net. Use promo code TURKEY and get 15% off. You can find out what his pick was right there, although he did recommend taking the under on this game. All right, that's about going to wrap up the show. Few reminders, few programming notes. First of all, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We're right here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, also on the American Forces Network. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And immediately following this show, this show will be available on the BLEAV, the Believe Podcast Network. You can get our podcast and all the picks right there. You can also go to our website, picksandparlays.net. We have a ton of quality free picks for you. And when you're ready to really hit the ground running with some of the best sporting intelligence in the business, go pick up our expert picks. And again, the last day is today for our Thanksgiving special. Use promo code TURKEY, as in gobble gobble, for 15% off anything you put in your shopping cart. Once again, you can find me on Twitter at Nick Geber, NickGeber, and we will be back with you tomorrow. Same place, same channel, same social media, but loads more free picks. Until then, may your bets be good and always bet, win, repeat.